Welcome back to the Emmaus Athletic Podcast. I'm your host, Shane Douglas, along with my co-host, Matthew Tomlinson. How you doing today, Matthew?
I'm doing pretty well. How's it going, Shane?
It's going good. Obviously, that is not Matthew. I was thinking about going with it. I was thinking about just acting like you're Matthew. I should have. Next time, maybe. That because then like the people watching would be like, oh, that's not Matthew. But then the people listening were like, that does not sound like. Is that Matthew? Matthew sounds like, is he sick? What's going on? No, that would have been whatever. Oh well.
That would have been pretty funny.
How you doing, Erik?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, the voice of the heavenlies is with us today, so.
I've filled in once for you. Now I'm filling in for Matt.
I know you're always here. You're here for us. You know, you're like really staring at me. Matt doesn't really stare at me.
Really?
So yeah. So like I'm getting good eye contact, and I feel like
I got it when I host the Concerning Him podcast. I got to do that with my guests. I got to make it. We got to make it feel real conversational. So I just stare at them. Yeah.
You're good at it, man. Like it's you're staring in my soul. I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to talk about sports, you know. I'm just want to take a nap now. But
it's a counseling session.
I know, exactly. Just like lay me down and I will open up about all my past trauma. But
sounds good.
And speaking of past trauma, we played Grinnell. Big headlines.
Oh, big headlines.
Yes.
On ESPN.
We're not joking.
No, not joking at all. Emmaus Bible College.
Yeah.
On ESPN. Articles written about us, highlights going out places. You said Dan Patrick show.
It was on the Dan Patrick show. Alumni Nick Sterry messaged me telling me it was on the Dan Patrick show. So shout out to Nick Sterry. He listens. But yeah. Insane. So like this is legit for you listeners who might not be always keeping in touch with Emmaus sports or just see that, oh, we got blown out. No, this was an insane game played against they were D3.
Yeah, Grinnell's a D3 school.
D3 school in Grinnell, Iowa, just about 2 hours away from here.
It's between here and Des Moines, right?
Yeah, it's between, it's like about 20 minutes away from Newton. Newton's about, it's like,
okay.
Yeah, so it's about like 45 minutes from Des Moines. But yeah, so we made it on ESPN. We made it big, everybody. So we're going big. We made it.
We should probably talk about why we made it at ESPN.
It's true. So we didn't make the headlines because we won, because we lost. And this is what we were talking about is trauma in the past, because you'll see the score and you're like, oh my goodness, we lost. But what really happened is, tell them, Erik, what really happened.
Grinnell shot nothing but threes, and they set the record for the amount of 3-point shots taken in one game in all of college basketball, not just D3, not just the level that they're playing at, but all of college basketball, men's college basketball. No team has ever taken that many 3-pointers in a game before. They took 111. Attempted 111 3-pointers.
And they had, it was 124 to, I believe, 60. I'm looking at the stat right here, 67. So 124 to 67, Grinnell on top. Emmaus made headlines for losing to Grinnell, not because of losing, but because of Grinnell setting that record of attempted threes. And this is not the first time Grinnell has done this.
No, Grinnell has an interesting strategy, it seems like. And it's not necessarily one that I'm going to say is bad. It's just interesting in that they are decently competitive with other D3 schools, right? So they play these other D3 schools. They play close. They might lose a little bit more than they win, but they like to play a really fast-paced up-tempo style of basketball where they don't spend a lot of time running through plays. You working the shot clock down. They get down, they shoot, and they get back. And so when they play smaller schools, 8, 9, 10 years ago, whenever it was, when they played Faith Baptist, one of their players set the record for most amount of points in a game, 147, something like that. It was a crazy amount of points. They like to say, hey, we're playing this small school. Let's see if we can break some sort of record. Yeah. And make the headlines. And in a way, it's great publicity for them. I mean, you might want to say there's no such thing as bad publicity, right? Some people thought it was really cool. It took 111 threes in a game. And some people thought it was really dumb. And why would they beaten up in this small Bible college, whatever. I don't think, I could talk to our coaches, talk to Matthew, talk to Coach Barker. They weren't offended. So everybody that's out there being offended for us, our coaches aren't seeming to really be offended there. happy to, they don't want to lose, obviously. They were expecting to probably lose. Grinnell's a pretty good team compared to we are this year. But they don't think that it was embarrassing to play in that game or anything like that. But yeah, it's something that Grinnell does. And what's fascinating is most people around the country would not know of a random D3 school in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. But because Grinnell does this type of stuff every couple years where they're playing a smaller school and they try to break some record and get in the headlines and get in ESPN, most people have heard of Grinnell.
People know Grinnell.
Dan
Patrick, when I was watching the show, Nick Stair told me about it and I had to go digging for it. They were like, oh, Grinnell College, that's that one school that does this to smaller schools. Exactly what you just said.
Yep.
They take advantage of the matchup and the skill, and they try to beat records. They try to set records, and they've done it in the past. Like you said, they have the scoring record for all of college basketball, and they did that against one of our rivals, Faith Baptist.
Yep.
So it's within. They just want to beat us Bible people up. That's what it is, Eric. I'm just joking. No, it's the smaller school aspect.
It was interesting talking to Coach Parker about it a little bit at lunch a couple days ago. He was saying what he was impressed by with Grinnell was their level of discipline. The amount of times, because he knows their coach, he talked to the coach afterwards, their coach said, only 3-point shots today. Nobody's allowed to take a 2. No layups, no 2-point jump shots, only 3-pointers. And Coach Parker was impressed with their level of discipline. He said he knew that's what the coach told him to do. These kids would have wide open layups and pass it out for 3. They didn't have a single 3-pointer where their foot was on the line. There was actually 2, even an attempted one. They didn't. They were all well enough behind the line.
Wow.
There was no kid that was like, well, I got an easy bucket and I want my point, so I'm just going to take it. Nope. Pass out, get a 3. And Coach Parker was actually impressed by the level of discipline that it takes to accomplish something like that.
I'm sure it can be a little frustrating too. And I know a lot of people have talked about why didn't they just guard the perimeter and everything? And I wish maybe but I wish Matthew was here to talk about it. I know Matthew they're not upset. You know, it is a little frustrating to have that be done to you. You know, it's just oh, they set a record against us, Yeah. But
but when our basketball team plays a team like Grinnell, and I think about this as the assistant soccer coach for Emmaus, when we played a team like Ripon up in Wisconsin, we knew going into the game we were probably going to lose. Larger D3 school, pretty competitive. And so me and Coach McHugh said, hey, we're going to this game. We really want to work on these things.
Yeah.
If we get scored on, we were down 1-0 at half. That was a win to us because they're a way better school than us. I think similarly, they're looking at this Grinnell as a game as an opportunity to grow and to learn some things about themselves and learn how to play against tougher competition. Our team, Emmaus is. So if Emmaus goes in and says, scrap everything we're ever going to do on defense for the rest of the season, and let's just stay out in the perimeter and guard the perimeter and leave the paint wide open, well, you're never going to play that way against another team.
Yeah.
So why would you, if you're using this Grinnell game to learn about yourself and to grow and to learn how to play tougher competition, right? Why would you scrap your whole defensive game plan? Now, if this is a championship game, right?
Yeah.
And a team's playing like that, then you scrap your defensive game plan and say, hey, we're going to just adapt to what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But in a situation like this, it's like, hey, this is our time to grow and learn. And
beginning of the season.
Exactly.
A lot to learn, a lot to grow from. I'm sure we came out of that game playing better perimeter defense than we did going in.
Yeah.
Or at least having the reaction to guard the perimeter, obviously. So, no, that's crazy, though, that happened. I remember Matt texting us our admissions group chat the insaneness that was going on, and man, that's crazy though. But
so if just for anybody that's interested, kind of as a result of that game, there's been a lot of people talking, especially on Twitter, about Grinnell, about Emmaus. Coach Sharon Tomlinson, our women's head basketball coach, had a great Twitter thread just kind of talking about who Emmaus is and what we're all about in response to all of that. She corrected maybe some misinformation out there about Emmaus. So go to Sharon Tomlinson's Twitter account. It's her pinned tweet.
Okay.
So it's a tweet right in the top. It's pinned for her.
Did it have a lot of views and looks?
Yeah.
A lot of people look at it?
Yeah. So that's a great, if you're looking for some information about Emmaus, correcting some of the misinformation out there, that'd be a great place to go.
Because I know a lot of alum and a lot of people look at this and be like, man, we're trash.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
Yeah.
It's not that view. They're looking at it on the outside, but you got to understand, Grinnell did this on purpose.
Yep.
and we reacted in a way to grow as well.
Yeah.
Grinnell probably went in the game. They go, hey, let's set this record. But maybe they wanted to work on a 3-point shot too. I don't know their whole story, but they did, So, it worked out for Grinnell. And, I mean, we got some publicity too. Yeah. So,
hey, we'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it, especially because we were the ones getting beat up. So everybody kind of feels bad for us. It's not bad publicity, honestly.
It's true. I remember reading some comments on some of the posts. It's like kind of hurtful towards Emmaus. But it's just like, I mean.
Yeah, some people were kind of hurtful towards Grinnell, though. I'll say that.
It's true.
Yeah. I saw somebody said Grinnell's out here innovating by doing something I've done in pickup basketball my whole life. That was the best retweet. I don't know who tweeted that. That's the best
nice.
Retweet. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, there's some funny stuff. I'm off Twitter now, but I've heard it was like pretty wild on there.
Yeah. Should we talk about early next semester for the basketball teams?
Yeah. So what we got going on? You said a tournament.
It's not a tournament. I think it's kind of an invitational. They're just playing. Okay. They're playing Barkley and both teams, men's and women's. It's on the 6th and the 7th of January, right when they're coming back from break. They're playing the Barkley and then Manhattan. I think it's Manhattan first.
Yeah.
And then Barkley back-to-back days. Those teams are both teams from Kansas. So it's a little bit of a meet in the middle to play. They're playing in Kansas City. And so I think that those games are actually before the school year.
They are.
The semester starts up again.
Yeah, so basketball players will come back early and everything. But
they'll get a couple practices.
We were just talking about this beforehand. Is like we have a stretch. Pretty much most of the rest of our games are teams within our conference and region.
Yep.
So we're not going to be playing Grinnell anymore this season or teams like that. But this is going to be before winter break. So the first semester basketball is over for both teams, but before winter break for the men's team, like now going into the second semester, this is where we're going to take what we learned in December and November and apply it to how we play in January, February, and March.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to this team and what we can grow from and what we have learned from the past games moving forward. So I wonder how everything's going to turn out and wherever all the other teams land within their power rating and how good they are and how we compare to them with a new team. We have a new, fresh team, and they're really good. And we're going to be even better next semester because we're getting some of the players back.
Yep.
So really looking forward to that. But anything else to add for next semester, this semester?
I don't know. Probably good to mention we probably won't have a podcast until after those games.
It's true. Yeah, so this is the last podcast of this semester.
Yeah, of 2022.
No. Last 2022 podcast for you guys. You can take a little break, a little sabbatical. So are we. We'll go on break. Not much going on not much going on now until those games for our basketball team. So looking forward to that. Right now we have an interview with Coach Gerardy, Jeremy Gerardy.
Jeremiah.
Did I say Jeremy?
He said Jeremy.
I was thinking about Jeremy Mao. He's our maintenance guy. I got to talk to him later. Shout out to Jeremy Mao. Jeremiah had a really good discussion with him about the cross country team. Just kind of learning more about how the Lord guided him to Emmaus, what he's done and his goals for this season in the program, and what he wants to do in the future for the program of cross country.
And in the process of the conversation, Shane got to learn a little bit more about cross country and how it works and
oh my goodness,
why in the world people want to run.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I asked the whole time. I don't have any journalism background really, but so I just asked, why do you like running? But it's a really good interview.
It's a great interview. So you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah, so we've talked already for a while, and I'm sure you don't want to listen to us anymore, but listen to Coach Jeremiah, and it's pretty long, but it's really good, and I learned a lot, and I hope you guys can learn a lot because our cross country team is blowing up, and it caught really fire this season here on Emmaus. So I'm looking forward to next year and the year to come for it.
Just want to make a quick plug. When you're done listening to Shane interview Coach Gerardy from Realms of Glory.
Realms of Glory.
From Realms of Glory, Dr. JJ Routley, I tell you, he's putting in a lot of work. I've been in the studio with him a lot recording those episodes. We've got a good editor working on that as well.
Is that you?
I'm not the editor.
Okay.
No, Mackenzie Roundhill. Shout out Mackenzie Roundhill.
Shout out.
No, she's doing great. JJ's putting a ton of work into those. One episode every day, December 1st through December 25th. If you haven't started listening yet, you can go back. They're between 8 and 10 minutes long each, all focusing on the birth of Christ, culminating Christmas Day. So check out From Realms of Glory. It's a fantastic short little podcast, real bite-sized type of listens. And then always check out the Concerning Him podcast. I have to plug it.
Always. Yeah, I walked into JJ when I was coming to the studio, and he just pushed me. He was like a little bully. You know, and then he has an Indiana Jones whip and everything. So he's just like, no, I'm just joking. I love JJ. Listen to that. From Realms of Glory.
There you go. You got it.
I'll start listening myself.
There you go.
I can't tell you to listen to it until I listen to it myself. So I'll listen to it, but you guys should too as well. At this time, let's talk to Coach Gerardy and learn more about cross country and what it means to run. And welcome back, I guess, from Erik and I's introduction earlier. But we have Coach Jeremiah Gerardy here with us. Hello. Jeremiah, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. Funny fact about Jeremiah and I's relationship is we just met 2 minutes ago. Formally, we've like
I run past them.
Yeah, we've like done a lot of passing, but you know we don't really see each other that much. You know, because you usually come here for dinners. You know, during cross country season.
Mm-hmm. And
practice. So I mean, I see you running. And I'm just like, I that's not a good time to be like, hey, Jeremiah, my name's Shane.
Just catch up
nice
to
me. Meet you. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not the runner. So, but yeah, it's great to have you here, man.
It's good to be here.
Awesome. So yeah, Jeremiah is the head cross country coach here at Emmaus Bible College, and we had a fantastic season this year, I would say so. You know, I don't know what your thoughts are, but we're about to hear them. You know, but before we get into the season and your goals for the future, I want to hear about kind of what got you to Emmaus.
All right, yeah, I've been in Dubuque now for 7 or so years. I came back after college for my full-time job. Then I spent some time coaching with Bellevue High School first.
Okay.
Then I was with Hempstead as well for a couple years. Then I got married, had some kids, took a little break from coaching. Then I got connected with Coach McHugh through church. So that's how I kind of found my way to Emmaus and went through the application process to start the cross-country team and went from there.
I love it. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, everything that I'm hearing, I know is first time for viewers too. So, you got connected through McHugh through church. What church is that?
Crossroads in Fiesta.
Awesome. Okay, sweet. And then you have a daughter. What's her name?
Yep, Charlotte is my daughter. Then I have a son, Joshua.
Okay, Charlotte is so cute.
she's pretty wild.
I like, she's just so cute. I just see her sometimes when I'm at dinner, just walking around. I'm like, that is a cute child. That's awesome. So good job. Kudos to you. So, so tell us a little bit about like your story and how we found you told us how you got to Emmaus and really honestly just like I feel like some domino effects, but that's how a lot of people, you know, for you listeners and viewers, there's a lot of people get not just to Emmaus, but where they are in life. It's just a lot of dominoes. You know, I love hearing people's story, how they got to Emmaus. I got here from a misinformed scholarship from my mother when my sister was applying. That got me to come to Emmaus, and I don't regret it. So yours just like the dominoes. I can see it, the Lord's guidance. So how has the Lord worked in your life, and how did you come to know Christ as your Savior?
Yeah, my biggest part of, I grew up in a Catholic home, so I've been going to church and knowledgeable like my whole life in Christianity. Then I went to college down in Kansas on a track and cross country scholarship, so I ran down there for them. And then after I graduated, after about a year, I came up here because it was really, really convenient as the Lord definitely worked in that way where I could get the job that I wanted back home. I grew up in Makokta, so it's real close. So definitely worked in that way where I could come back and get into a job immediately when I came back for my full-time work. And then I kind of went in there and got back into, well, I've never stopped running, but I kind of got into the coaching scene at that point, and kind of, I said domino effects that got me here now.
Awesome. So you're from Makokta?
Yeah, I grew up in Makokta.
Okay, so did you do a lot of caving then?
I actually, where I started running was at the caves.
Oh wow! So that's a lot of uphill, downhill stuff
and steps, lots of steps. My dad and my uncle started running there when I was about 10 years old, and I wanted them to bring me along too. Yeah. So they reluctantly did so at the time. Then at first I couldn't keep up with them. Okay. But after a couple of years, I had a big growth spurt, started running, and they couldn't keep up with me anymore.
I love it. Now tell me, and everyone who has asked themselves their entire life, why do you enjoy running?
I think it's just free, and I found I'm good at it, which doesn't hurt. Okay. So and it's just fun to be. I like to run out in the trails. We have some amazing trail systems in Dubuque, so it's fun to be out in nature. I know yesterday morning I was out running with my dog, and we at the Mines of Spain we saw like 10 deer out there. So it's like fun to be out in the wildlife, and even with town, it's just a good healthy habit to have, and I definitely feel better on the days that I run than when I don't. So.
How many miles do you typically put in a day, or when you are running?
It's varied during my lifetime. Okay. So when I was training for some more serious races, I'd put in 50, 60 miles a week, which equates to sometimes.
That's more miles I've ran in my life.
So 10 plus miles at a time. And pretty regularly. Right now, it's a little more casual. Maybe.
What's casual? Please tell me what your casual is.
4, 5, 6 miles at a time.
Okay. We had a professor here who would run 6 miles a day. So I can. Okay. I was thinking that you were about to say 10 plus or something. I'm like, that's nuts.
I'm not doing that right
just
now.
Casual, Just I don't really feel like watching TV or being productive right now. So I'm just going to go run for 10 miles and have the time of my life. I love to hear it. So that kind of led you to have a collegiate career. Mm-hmm. How did that collegiate career, I don't know if I'm touching anything that might be hurtful to you. Or it's oh no, I was state championship. I was running. I tripped on a twig and I lost it. So what was your career like in high school and college and such?
In high school, I was solid for Maquoketa. Okay. I made it to state in cross country once, and track I made it to state 3 times, but never placed there. So I was okay, but not great by any means. And in college, I actually kind of came into my own a little bit, even more. So I really enjoyed my time running there, where I actually broke a couple school records and
flex on us.
Yeah, made it to nationals in cross country, which is a fun experience.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
And what school was that you said?
Bethany College in Kansas.
Okay, let's not talk about them because we were only talking about Emmaus. I don't know why I asked.
Fair enough.
But so what makes, this might be an odd question. I just want to get to know the sport more, cross country, because if you guys listened to Matt and I this season, we were in love with our team this year. We were like, this team is killing it. It came out of nowhere, and we'll get to them. They all just killed it this year. At the beginning of the year, we had our freshmen just destroy and doing incredible, and then the back end, all the upperclassmen and the returners from last year started just stepping up too, and they were killing it. So the whole team had a great season, individually and as a team, set a lot of records and made a lot of accomplishments, and we'll get into that. But what is it that makes you a good runner, I guess? What makes you good at cross country? Because cross country is a different sport. It's completely, you talk to someone who's a track star, and you're like, oh, so you want to run cross country? And they're like, no, I do not want to run cross country. They would rather they would rather do anything else but run cross country, because you have to be different.
Yeah, distance running is a different beast for sure.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's there's obviously a lot of physical aspects that go into it, but I would think mentally too. What would you say?
Oh yeah, mentally is a huge part of it, and keeping. I think goals are a big thing that help keep motivated, even on days you don't feel good. Yeah. Keeping those goals in mind are surely important, and they can help keep you kind of grounded too. But I think the big thing with cross country and distance running in general is just being consistent with everything, and just taking everything like step by step, day by day, as we're just gradual improvement here, gradual improvement there. And you do that for weeks or months or years sometimes, and you definitely can see the progress, which we definitely were able to this year.
A lot of growth for sure. Yeah, I think about a mental game and aspect of games and athletes, and cross country is a huge one because I don't know.
It's not easy.
Yeah. What do you think about when you're running? Like, do you, like you said, goals? So you set yourself like, okay, 2 more steps, or like, oh, what is it like? Or is like you're running and you're like, oh, that's a really nice tree, or you're like admiring someone's hair or something, like, I need a haircut like that you're racing. Like, what is this like? Oh, is it all over the place? Do you try to focus on the finish line, on like the next step of the race, or do you like just try to get lost in your head and just autopilot, or like, I don't know, like, what is it?
For me personally, it's at times been all the above.
Okay.
So sometimes my mind just waters. Oh, like if I'm on a long run, I found a great time for prayer even. Just finding that time where I kind of just sounds weird, but like run like without thinking about it and use that time to talk to God and think about God. So those runs are amazing for sure. Miles just click by. Then times I like look things around, look at trees or squirrels.
That's a nice oak right there. I like that oak.
That's a pretty tree. No.
Yeah.
But then I think during race time, you definitely think about the competition, think about the person ahead of you, working on getting to them, and continuously like finding that next finish line within the finish or within the race too. Okay. And then when you get to the last part of the race, it's definitely. The finish line is definitely a big motivator.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure like having a lot of small goals, like you said, is just like, I'm going to beat that person. And once when you beat them, then you're like, oh, I'm going to beat that person.
Yeah, it's a moving target for sure.
I feel after talking to a lot of the runners this year and even last year too, just hearing stories of how like, I don't remember the last mile. Like they were autopilot the whole time. And I don't know how that works. Like that's just like insane. Like they just autopilot the whole game or the whole match or race. And it's just, wow. Or I should say, not match. I just use so many different terms. Like the terms for different sports are all over the place. But you mentioned how you sometimes you pray when you run, and I noticed that like the cross country team, second year as a program, you guys have really set your mark, set your name as a very spiritual. Growth, a lot of spiritual growth within the team and spiritual family. You guys really have came together to look to Christ as brothers and sisters, but also to be a family. And we saw that a lot. We heard about it a lot here at Emmaus. You guys would have dinner together after like every practice. You guys would have a lot of, like you said, some Bible time and prayer time too. So what did that look like this season? Going into the season, what was your goals, your spiritual goals as a team?
Well, I think kind of my pillars of the program are, number one is to honor and glorify God. So I think we do that through like everyday life and just keeping ourselves grounded in that way, keeping our ultimate goal towards God. So that's kind of the big number one in how we like represent ourselves and Emmaus. Then kind of things within that, we obviously like pray before every race and practice, and typically I kind of pass the buck, especially during practice, where our team is going to be the one praying for us. And I definitely throughout the year at some point everybody did their own prayer, some more than others, but they all took accountability and kind of initiative in that way, which is a lot of fun. Then you saw us at dinner times on Mondays after our long runs. We did a devotional together where every week I gave them like a topic, and we would talk about that, incorporating it within cross country and the Bible. So it's definitely a lot of fun, and I definitely learned stuff from them as well. I'm really, really impressed with the team and their like spiritual knowledge and growth that I've seen within them.
That's awesome. Like Paul was an athlete himself, and he loved using. He liked
to talk about runners.
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys eat that up, and you've used that, maybe too much, but I mean, it's there. There's a lot to learn from just one verse in the Bible. So that's really awesome. I love to hear that and even see your family, the family you guys have created, and how you have dinner and Pollard, like carbo load before meets.
Yep, before every race.
Yeah, and like what you'd have Brandon sit at the head of the table or something like that with his glass of water and everything. Yeah, how did that look? Who cooked the meals? Tell us about the family. Tell us about the family you guys created on the team.
Yeah, like I said, we did meals for every race. You'll start there, and usually my wife, the assistant coach Elizabeth, she cooked for us, which is good stuff.
Yeah. What's your guys' go-to carbo load meal?
Usually pasta.
Just pasta.
And then pasta and some fruit.
Okay.
And
what kind of pasta? Like, I have a little Italian in me. I've been to Italy, so like, what kind of pasta you guys be having?
The best, the most requested was like a lasagna.
Just lasagna.
So yeah, pretty simple, but it's good stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
The team loves chocolate milk. So.
Oh yeah, and it can be really good for you after like a workout too. So that's nice. So man, that's crazy that you guys just put that stuff inside your bodies and then run so far, so long. Yep. Like running for 30 minutes or something. That's just insane. Like, that I can't really think about it. Like, it's just nuts. I'm sorry. It's just like, I mean, we've talked about it. Matt and I have talked about it all season. It's just like, these guys are good at running, and I don't know how they are. But I mean, like, how anyone is, because this is running. But so you're the men's cross country coach by
men and women's. Yep.
Men's and women's cross country coach by night. By day, what are you? What is your other job? Your other title?
My full-time job, I investigate like money laundering for a group of banks. So,
moving on from that, I'm just kidding. That is insane. Erik from the Heavenlies brought that up right before we started recording, and I was like, "What?
Is that even a thing?"
I don't like. We could just have a whole podcast about that. So stay tuned in the next concerning him. I'm just joking, but. No, so that's crazy. You do that by day, and then your Batman is cross country coaching, and you've enjoyed it. And tell me, what was your guys? So you talked to us about your family goals coming into the season, your pillars. So what were your athletic goals as a team, individually? What were they?
Yeah, I'll kind of add my additional pillars at this time.
There we go.
So number 1, honor and glorify God. Number 2 for us is to improve and grow. So we definitely were able to see that year where everybody on the team got their PR this year, which was amazing for us.
That's awesome.
So I feel like that's the name of the game as to where we can grow definitely within our times, and also just as a person growing in confidence and believing in yourselves. And for some people, like, finding themselves as leaders and stuff. So it's just growing in different things as a person as well as on the course. And in the back of my mind, I obviously want the team to get the nationals, which we were able to this year. So definitely, I think
huge accomplishment.
Yeah, the first goal was to get there, and as the season went on, with this kind of a moving target, I'm like, all right, we can get there. Now, can we place? But unfortunately, we just came up a tiny bit short on placing there. But no, it's just a moving target, and getting there, especially year 2 of the program for the girls, and both of the guys on the team getting there this year was huge for us.
Yeah. So. Does the course, the course on the meet matter significantly to where's everyone is placing? Like, so let's use like Anna, for example. Like, one of her best races this year was one of the most hilly courses that you guys ran. So compared that to maybe a less hilly, more flat terrain for one of the meets, like, does that matter significantly to some of the players' strengths and weaknesses? Is that something that you guys take in mind? To growth and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. Every cross country course is different, and we recognize that. And every like the same course even is different from year to year based on different factors of weather. Sounds funny, but like how tall the grass is, how hard the ground is, kind of thing. Okay. So just there's a ton of different factors in place. It's kind of just all measurements, and we obviously want to be faster than we were there last year, but we have to kind of keep things in perspective sometimes too. But definitely most parts, I guess there's a good mix of flat versus hilly courses this year, but I think it plays into some of their strengths as to be some of the hilly course, especially like Anna. She loves when there's a little bit more hills, especially.
That's crazy.
Kind of like a mix of the up and down. She likes the downhill where she can get that momentum and like kind of use that as a break a little bit to keep the motor going. So
no, that's great. So like, yeah, what is some of your guys' strategies going into the courses? Like, is that a huge strategy of like discussing how to run the course? Like, hey guys, this is what the course looks like. This is going to be this is going to help us a lot if we run this way. Do you guys have a lot of meetings like that? A lot of team discussions of strategy within the courses, or you just let them run?
For the most part, I'll let them run. I usually kind of give them a game plan for the first mile, making sure they get out in a good position, but not too fast as to where they're going to like fizzle out and struggle the last half of the race. But then when we get to a course, we'll typically walk or jog most of it as kind of our warm up to kind of get a feel of the course and know what to expect during the race.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. No. There's like more strategy than we think that goes into just to running. Yeah. So okay, that's awesome. So some of your goals is you were able to accomplish a lot of your goals going into the season, which is amazing. And you guys had a great season. How would you define this year's cross country team?
I had a lot of fun with it. I think goals is a good word, and moving goals, like moving and goals. So there was even within the individuals, especially I know Kelsey, thinking about her coming into the season.
She like underdog. She killed it this year.
Yeah, her goal was to run under 30 minutes. Where last year her like personal best was around like 36:30. So. The first race, she already ran under 30 minutes.
That's incredible.
So I'm like, all right, we're going to definitely have to move this goal.
Yeah.
So by the end of the season at Nationals, she was 25:11, which was over 11 minutes faster than her personal best last year, which was huge. That
was a huge headline that Matt and I discussed in one of our first podcasts of talking about the cross country team and how that was a massive accomplishment and everything. But so what are some of your guys' going into the future? What are your goals with the program for cross country?
Yep, I think keeping the pillars in mind is kind of, I think, constantly going to be the kind of the root of it. So honor, glorify God, to improve, and number 3 for me is to have fun.
Yeah.
So, and I think that comes with we're generally a pretty lighthearted group. I know Anna during the season was kind of a fun quote as to where she said, I like our team. We're kind of like a family. We can make fun of each other.
Yeah, that's nice.
Stuff like that where we can be lighthearted and laugh with and sometimes at each other, I guess. So kind of keeping grounded in that way. And obviously as the Bible college, like number 1 is always to the honor and glorify God in that way. But I think we can continue to make some noise at the national level as we kind of grow and continue on this process.
No, I love it. I love the growth of the program that's already happened in over a year. It's the second year going into the third year. Next year, hopefully we can bring in a lot more prospects, a lot more athletes to help grow the team, especially the men's team. So that's we're really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure you are too. And I just can't imagine all the hype motivation speeches that you give them before games. Do you do that, or is it just like, go team, let's go, let's throw down that apple, that pasta, then let's go run?
Before a race we'll do a team prayer, then I usually like to I'm not too much of a rah-rah, but I give them some words of wisdom.
There you go. I can just imagine you like Braveheart it, man. You got like face paint on or something, and you're yelling at the troops.
So during the race, I get that way.
It's all about intimidation, Jeremiah.
Yes.
You show up with face paint to a meet, you're going to intimidate all the rest of the schools, and they're not going to be close. They don't want to be like,
their mind will be all confused.
And then when they're racing against our students, our athletes for our cross country team, they're not going to be they don't want to be close to them because they're going to freak them out. So intimidation, we need more intimidation. But I'm gonna give you some time. I gave the rest of the coaches, Coach McHugh, Coach Hannah Buddy, some time to plug their program. So Jeremiah, here's your time. You can look at the camera for the people watching, or you can even just speak for the people that are listening. But tell them why they should come to Emmaus and run for our cross-country team.
Yeah, for sure. I think number one is to recognize the Bible college aspect. As to where I think a huge thing is at Emmaus, where we can grow spiritually in addition to our academics and athletics. So I love to tell the recruits that, and that's the special thing at Emmaus, where we can surround ourselves with like Christian-minded people in that way, where we can hold each other accountable and kind of help each other grow in that way. So like iron sharpens iron kind of idea.
Yeah.
So then definitely within the program, our three pillars are huge for us. Like I said, to honor, glorify God, and to improve. I'll kind of give a plug to our runners this year. Anna, our number one girl runner. So she, I'll get some times. Her PR around like 21:10. So prior to this year, she as a freshman, her PR is around 21:50. So about 40 seconds. And Kate, she was about 10 seconds, but got under 22 for the first time ever, which was huge for her. Then Leela started last year with us, never running competitively before in her entire life. Her first race was a little over 30 minutes, and she absolutely crushed it at nationals this year, running her PR at 23:14, so about 7 minutes there. Then Amy those two are like right with each other the whole course, and just even with outside of race time, they're just kind of the glue of the team for sure. We call them their team mom and dad. It's kind of fun.
I like that.
Where they're kind of the leaders and help everybody, especially the younger ones. But she was right at 23:42 for her PR, so breaking pretty much another 7 minute from last year. Like I said, Kelsey being 11 minutes faster, which was huge, and like kind of, I think, a great motivator for anybody new coming in to recognizing, oh, I might not be like where I want to be at this point, but give it a year time like Kelsey did, putting in the work that she did, and you can be 10 plus minutes faster, which is amazing. Then our Carolyn broke about a 7 minute PR as well, got 30 minutes flat.
Dang.
So that'll hopefully give her some fire for next year to break that 30 minute barrier, which I know she can do. She made some huge strides. Then our Abby, a huge PR at our national race, was probably the best moment we had all year. Like her goal was under 40 minutes. Yeah. And again, like never running prior to this year at all. At nationals, she was really pushing towards that and got crushed that 40 minutes, going at 37:40.
Wow.
So I just remember her crossing the finish line. I gave her a giant hug, and she's just bawling in my arms.
That's awesome.
As a coach, my heart's just like this is what it's for.
That's awesome.
That's just amazing. So improving. Then for our guys team too, both of them were freshmen coming in. So Brandon ran in high school, but never a 8K like we do here. So it's kind of a new territory for him, but ended up breaking the school record for us, which was very, very impressive. I know at the national meet, he unfortunately got sick and didn't have the race that he wanted, but he still crushed it, and just showing the toughness and the grit in that way, which is really, really great to see. Then our Caleb never ran cross country or never ran in general for a race in his life. He had some athletic background, but not distance running by any means, and ended up making it to nationals and running a personal best at nationals too, at 31:40, which was great time for over 5 miles. That's amazing.
First year running,
so definitely gives some motivation to, I know both of them next year want to break that 30-minute barrier, and I'm very, very confident that they'll get there.
That's awesome. And I just hearing your excitement within the team and how you plug the program itself, it's a family. And that's what it is here at Emmaus, is we're a family here. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get that within every aspect of anything here, within the programs, within the athletics, and it's amazing. It really reflects the church and what the universal church is. And I love to hear the spark, the energy of just talking about your players, and they're not your players, they're your family, like you said. So
we like them, and it's great. Like raising my 2 kids like around them too, which is amazing. Having godly men and women to like help with my kids. I see them every day, and it's just amazing in that way, where they have great, amazing role models that they have talking about their faith and living that out. So
I love it. Well, for any of you who are interested in cross country or like running, I don't know why, but likes running or interested in cross country, hit us up. Find us on our athletic recruitment site, on our athletic page, or even just fill out an application or a request card, a request info card on our website. So please get in contact, or if you know anyone that's interested, please let them know, guide them to this podcast. Thank you, Coach Jeremiah. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely.
I'll shake your hand, man.
Sounds good.
I appreciate you coming, and thank you, everyone, and have a great night.